I think this is traditionally where I say that it's been my childhood dream to be an architect, huh? Growing up in Grenada, a tiny island in the Caribbean, you didn't hear the word architect when referring to people that shaped the built environment. I think moving to London was pivotal because all of a sudden the built environment and landscape changed drastically. I was exposed to all these buildings and infrastructure that did all these extraordinary, fascinating things. I then moved to Kansas, pursuing architectural engineering, went to Chicago, Turkey, then Malaysia for my bachelor's of architecture, and back to London for my first master's. Now I'm at USC at Los Angeles, pursuing my second. I'm always asked why I move so much for academia. The simple truth, I'm obsessively curious. I'm curious about the world that we shape and that we live in. I'm curious about histories and futures and identities. I'm curious about techniques, technicalities, and technologies. This decade-long global journey that I've had with architecture has shown that it's all about the human connection and experiences and narratives to the built environment. I am in obsessive pursuit of a curated collection of imagination, experimentation, and social cultural impact through this discipline. When we look at 100 Old Street, that curiosity takes architectural form. The brief asked to put a social justice center in Chinatown, Los Angeles, but how do we call for social justice through a bureaucratic institution? It's a very historically rich site with an extensive audience history that include the Native Americans, Mexican and Chinese community. The heinous acts of violence, the serial erasure, and the friction that exists with the site is centered and acknowledged. Distilling these histories and narratives as it relates to the urban context is used as a design approach for the project. A vertical public promenade, allowing for visitors to freely explore this privately owned institution, moving from the street to the ground, throughout the building, and onwards to the top. There's an experience of continuous circulation and occupation. Even when the building itself is an institution, democratizing it by allowing users to go where they please, sit where they please, work, meet, greet at almost any point in the building, allows for a sense of community and ownership of this built space. Essentially, the office typology, the institution itself, takes on a more communal language. The design approach that I'm usually employing is that of the collage, two-dimensional or three. I was aimed to show how spatial narratives through different cultures and time periods are connected through history, time, the ground, and society. The structural language of the building aims to mimic that, bringing together these multitudes of elements, timber, concrete, and steel, where timber is the main structural makeup of the building, more than 75% as a sustainable design choice, coupled with the open panels and operable windows that allows for cross-ventilation. The facade experiments with a double skin that responds to the sun studies done early in the design process in order to counteract massive heat gain. It plays with the formal design of the program and structure of the building as it breaks the pragmatic requirements of a typical office building. 100 Old Street expresses a collection of histories, ideas, and positioning through an assembly of construction elements and narratives. I always joke and say that my designs are like me trying to piece myself together through this discipline, because I sometimes feel like an assemblage of sorts. I'd like to think that even through these blurred and grim histories, joy can still be found. I'd like to also think that 100 Old Street is a joyous, open, and very public building. Joy can be birthed from these collective experiences, and collectiveness and narratives is why I co-founded and co-run Space Publications, which offers a conversion of editorial creation, student initiative and agency, as well as communal expression furthering architectural discourse in academia and the industry. And we have fun with it. All of this is why I'm interested in being at Gensler. My skills of being able to critically problem solve, as well as my pursuit of bold work that's also transdisciplinary, would make me a really great fit at Gensler that produces work that's innovative, equitable, and most of all, joyous. So, who am I? My name is Etulan Joseph, a rising Black designer who's obsessively curious, who believes in the power of design that is pluralistic in thought, hypervisible in identity, and grounded in social awareness and empowerment, who most importantly celebrates experimentation, imagination, and resilient joy. Thank you.